Hello and welcome everybody. My name's Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com. Thank you for joining me for the awesome Aquarius June horoscope. Okay, it's a quieter month and I think we'll just all breathe a sigh of relief for June after everything that's happened in May. It's been full on. And Australia has a new Prime Minister. We still don't know if the Parliament is hung or not. One of my media predictions, I'd said hung Parliament. So we're still waiting. And we could be waiting a couple of weeks because Mercury is retrograde. And, that really does bring about delays and misunderstandings, miscommunications. And for you, awesome Aquarius, it's retrograde in your fourth house of home and family. So do be careful with your communications at home and with your family. There's also probably some problems with technology. Things could blow up or, check your devices and back up everything basically. It's not a good time for travel either. But if you started something before the 3rd of May and you just put it down for whatever reason, it might come back to you in some way that you have to finish it off now. So it is a good time for completion of old tasks that have been hanging around for a bit. Okay, now the other thing is that Saturn is your co-ruler, by the way, so it's in your sign and it's retrograde. So this is going to affect you quite a fair bit. In your sign, it's all about your identity and your belief systems. So you might find you have to put some boundaries. Maybe people are trying to use up too much of your time, or, they keep asking you for things all the time. They're not thinking about you, they're just thinking about themselves. So it's a great idea to put boundaries and structures up now to alleviate some of the burden of doing things for others perhaps and focus on yourself. It's time to be a little bit selfish. Okay, that's okay. I actually think selfish is not the right word. It's like just looking after yourself basically. It's self-care. That's really important. Neptune's retrograde in Pisces in your second house till the 3rd of December, and basically that means be careful how you spend your money because you could be a bit vague or confused, and it's just easy to just sort of fritter money away on things. So do be careful of that. You might need to put some boundaries or restrictions around your spending. Okay, so when planets are retrograde, things tend to slow down a bit. So maybe there's a possibility that not as much money is coming in as you're used to having, or what you thought was coming is being delayed, or something like that. Okay, just briefly, that's a summary, what I've just given you. And just to explain, I like to draw 2 tarot cards as theme cards for the month for you, and then we'll have a look at your horoscope in depth, okay? If you are new, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell right now. Okay, let's go to the board. Here's your horoscope that we'll come to in a moment. But we're going to look at these cards first, awesome Aquarius, just to see what comes up. For the first half of the month, close my eyes, got purple everywhere. Quite a spiritual time for you. We do have Pluto here in your 12th house. Something could be, actually I get the sense it's not being reborn just yet, but it is coming. And it's like something died and then was brought back to life. It's the phoenix rises up out of the ashes. So whether that's an old job or something that you used to love doing and you stopped doing it because you got married or you had children or you got this new job or whatever. So I just get the sense something coming back like that. Okay, the first card, the Tower. Okay, it is the end of something. Pluto and the Tower go together quite well because some of your old ideas from the past are not really on solid ground. They're on shifting sands. And it might be that you've just let people get away with too much, okay? And now you're changing your view about that and you're going to be stronger about what's right for you. The king's crown topples off his head, so to speak. But this is usually associated with being unpredictable, but if you do have some psychic ability, and a lot of people do, or even if you want to call it intuition, see the eye in the sky here, you'll already know about it. So it won't be unpredictable because you saw the writing on the wall. So you knew that this concept, this idea, this thing that you'd built up in your mind, it wasn't really that stable. Okay, you could change jobs or relationships. It doesn't really indicate it strongly. Here in the job area, you've got the South Node there. This is about things you've done in the past. You've got the MC here. This is about your life direction and your career. But there could be some change there. Okay, doesn't mean you'll change jobs necessarily though. Okay, second half of the month, do let me know. Come back and let me know. Did something happen in June around your work? Okay, second half of the month, and it's something substantial too, by the way. It's not a small thing. Okay, a big diamond in front of me, clarity. You're going to get a lot of insight out of this situation, and you'll see it'll be like your eyes opened up, or the veils were taken off your eyes, and you'll see more clearly than before. So insight and awareness is coming to you via the King of Cups. It's about your feelings, how you feel. Your feelings are actually every bit as valuable as what you think, or every bit as valuable as your physical body or your spiritual life. Okay, so unfortunately in Western societies, too much we sort of denigrate feelings. Oh, she's just so emotional, like it's a terrible thing or something, when really all of the realms are equally important. This King of Cups is a master of his emotions. They don't rule him, but he does pay attention to his emotions and interacts, with his emotions. The ocean in the background here, very much in touch with his subconscious and what's going on. But because he's wearing this sort of indigo colour, there's a degree of intuition here. He speaks very wise words. See the high vibration here, the gold around his throat, seated on a shell with one at the back, as you do. And so really in touch with subconscious forces and really being able to balance everything so that he feels his emotions but he's not ruled by them. The golden sun here is about success, by the way, too. So a fairly significant month for you with a major arcana, something falling over, and also the feelings that go with it. But it ends up being quite positive with this. This is sort of like a mature person, an experienced person, somebody you can trust. If you can't find that in yourself, somebody might come into your life like that. Okay, now let's make this a bit bigger for you so we can go through your horoscope and you can see it more clearly. All right. Okay. Right, so 8th of June to the 11th of June sees Mars squaring the Moon. Do watch for irritability. You could be feeling a bit frustrated or angry. No point in flying off the handle now. The impatience and the sense of having to rush something, like you're time poor and you've got something you've got to do and you're sort of rushing. Just watch for that, because with Mars, incidents and accidents can occur if you're not fully present with what you're doing. If you're thinking about the future, got to get this done by such and such time or something like that, sometimes Mars will do something to just make it stop. And so if somebody is annoying you, you're probably not going to be backwards in coming forwards as far as standing up for yourself, okay? You'll stand up for your rights, but yeah, don't overplay your hand, so to speak. The 8th of June to the 12th of June, Mercury trines Pluto, and this also brings great depth to your conversations. So Mercury was retrograde up until the 3rd or the 4th of the month, depending what country you're in, what time zone. And then after that, there's a bit of a shadow period of a few days, and then we go into this Mercury trining Pluto, bringing a lot of depth to your conversation. It's almost like you don't want to hear superficial things or excuses. You just don't want to know about it. You want to get right to the core of the matter. And it's a great time for investigating a problem or getting to the bottom of something. If something smells a bit fishy, then it probably is. You could look for something that's lost or hidden and find it. And you'll certainly find out more about your own unconscious. Okay, all this ocean here in the background. 14th of June sees a supermoon in Sagittarius in your 11th house here, stirring up things to do with your friends, your connections, the groups you're associated with. You might find there's a bit of turbulence, but there's also a need to associate more with groups and your community, and you probably want to deepen the level of closeness with your community. It's great for any kind of communication after Mercury turns direct, particularly creative writing or theatre or art. Okay. Then we have 11th of June to the 14th of June. We have Mercury trining your ascendant, and it's also a great time for communications with that. You could present something in public, okay, so especially with your MC here, and perhaps you could also maybe say that for the South Node as well in Scorpio, that, you know, it's likely there's some sort of public display. Also, Mercury is in your 5th house from the 11th of June to the 4th of July. It moves over here. Lots of communications about your creativity. Maybe even romance is on the cards. You could have lots of communications with potential suitors, for example. The Sun is there, and Venus will go into the 5th house later, or shortly after that time. Alrighty. Mars conjuncts Chiron from the 13th of June to the 16th of June. And it's important to have relationships now that make you feel good about yourself. So if you're in a relationship and you feel like you're being put down, it's probably a time to do something about it. The relationships in your life ideally would be those that help you build your self-esteem and make you feel good. There could be some sort of, with Chiron and Mars, there could be some sort of confrontation where you have to defend your position on something. Or you could have a very important encounter with somebody who sort of irritates you or aggravates you in some way, but teaches you a valuable lesson. But there's a healing around it. It's like the confrontation brings a healing. Maybe you run into an ex. You prefer not to run into them, but it happens. And it's a way of finishing off any unfinished business. Something might have happened in the past, you know, a long time ago. You thought you were finished with it, and then you see them. And although that might be not pleasant, at the same time you get some sort of healing or benefit out of it. The 10th of June to the 27th of June sees Jupiter conjuncting Mars, giving you a lot of physical energy and stamina. You feel more enthusiastic, and you go after challenges with a lot of positivity. You've got this can-do attitude and a high energy level generally. Do be careful you don't overdo it. You can go out in the garden and do a whole lot of work and feel wonderful, and then wake up the next day and feel really sore. So do be careful about that. But other people are, you know, very approving and welcoming towards you. It's really beneficial. Then we have 19th of June to the 22nd of July. The Sun moves into your 6th house here. It's a great time for doing your best work and taking pride in your work. It's a good time to look at how you use your time and energy at work, or perhaps in your daily routine, what you do. You can become more efficient and productive now. You might also have your mind on well-being and health matters. You could be inspired to begin a self-improvement program, maybe look at your diet or your exercise regime. 21st of June to the 17th of July, Venus moves into your 5th house here that I mentioned before. This is fabulous for romance. It's a great time for play, enjoying yourself, socialising, being creative. You can express your feelings quite openly now. You're probably likely to go out with friends to something to do with art or music or some sort of cultural event as well. And it's lovely. The 28th of June sees a new moon here in your 6th house in Cancer. And this brings a new beginning around your health or well-being, or perhaps your work. There might be some sort of new procedure or something that starts at work. Yes, you could get another job. If you're looking for a job, this certainly helps you, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you will get another job, if that makes sense. We've got activity there, but we don't have a huge amount of activity there. Yeah, self-improvement's very likely, and you just maybe you're just sort of reorganising your life or something like that as well. The 24th of May to the 1st of August sees Neptune sextiling Mercury. I was going to say septiling, which is 1/7 of, I think it's 1/7 of 360 degrees. It's something we never use in astrology, so I don't know where that was coming from. Anyway, with Neptune sextiling Mercury, you're more likely to be sympathetic and understanding. You'll give other people the benefit of the doubt now. You can strike up a rapport with people pretty quickly. Any relationships you have probably got a sort of spiritual kind of leaning now. And yeah, it's just really beneficial. You might not be as good thinking, logically. You could be a bit vague, a bit confused sometimes. And as I said before, with Neptune here in your 2nd house, be very, very careful that you don't overspend. Money could just literally fly through your fingers. But it is great for creative writing. Also, if you do anything to do with like art, the theatre, anything that where you use your imagination and sensitivity, you're likely to excel in that now. Alrighty, so that's your horoscope, and it's looking pretty positive overall for some Aquarius. I hope you find something useful in this, and if you do, leave a like, leave a comment, or share on your socials. That would be fabulous. Have a fabulous month, everyone, and if you're new, subscribe and be alive and hit that notification bell. Okay, thanks again, and I'll see you all later. Bye. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website absolutesoulsecrets.com for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.